Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Superstars of Wrestling Review Series, September 5th, 1992. And we are right after SummerSlam here. I think they do a highlight package that lasts quite a bit for this particular program. We open first run content, though, with LOD versus Gary Jackson and Jay Stevens. Obviously, LOD still in the company, although not here too much longer. This match probably taped before the pay-per-view. Anyway, and Paul Ellering out there with Rocco. Again, the Rocco thing, I think, killed LOD and their ambition to be part of the area. Certainly, Irish Whip and clotheslines by Animal. Hawk comes in, does a lot of power stuff, including a press slam on one of the enhancement talents, I believe Jackson. And, at this point, the LOD remaining wasn't going to change much for them, I don't think. Rough gut wrench suplex. There is a feature on the Legion of Doom in the WWF magazine. At this point, of course, the magazine, I think, printed probably 2 or 3 months, 2.5 months maybe, out as far as what features were going to be. Doomsday Device 1, 2, 3 for the Champions Event Center. Nasty Boys talk about wanting the Tag Team Championships back from the Natural Disasters. Talk about wanting to be, heads up and be the nasty team they can be. They've kind of moved away a little bit from the high energy talk, so maybe that program drawing to a close post SummerSlam here. Big Boss Man, also a guy who is in the event center here, still heavily pushing the Nails program, wants to get even with Nails, talks about law, order, and justice, and the fact that Nails needs to be brought to justice. Then we see a Nails match. Tommy Stevenson is his adversary. Nails again, very simplistic match. Punches, kicks, driving, and grinding the head of his opponent into the mat. Nothing major here. Again, using a choke to get the victory. Weird that the referees don't do anything about the choke. Natural Disasters celebrating their win over the Beverly Brothers. Talks about wanting to be fighting defending champions. Talks about being willing to fight anyone, including Money Incorporated, the Nasty Boys, or whomever. Then we move into what seems to be a very common match. I think this is the third time on Superstars. Maybe second, but I'm pretty sure it's third. In terms of Kato and Crush, Kato certainly has dropped from his Orient Express fame and basically an enhancement talent to the Stars, nothing more, nothing less, which is kind of sad. I think the Kato character could have been done a little bit more with the martial arts thing being so big in 92. Mortal Kombat's a couple years away, I think. Maybe coming out in the arcades in 92, 93. But anyway, Crush uses power moves, a lot of them. The inside-out backbreaker, tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. Interesting that Crush in inset promos starts doing the Aloha Mahalo Hawaiian thing, kind of adding a little more personality to him. I always liked the Kona Crush mentality. He even, when I was a kid, met him the same year, 1992. I think I know it was November of 92, so a couple months later, he actually signed autographs, Aloha Crush. So they were really kind of getting that Hawaiian vibe. I do believe he legitimately lived there, I'm pretty sure, at least for a little while. Anyway, big press slam by Crush, and, the kids are into it. Kids are definitely into it. I'm surprised I don't remember Crush t-shirts, but I'm kind of surprised they didn't go that way. Big clothesline, and Kato takes the flip bump. They do the cranium crunch, and we are good to go from that. The Mountie against Ken Wayne up next. Mountie again, kind of coming off the Sergeant Slaughter program. I don't necessarily think they're going to renew that into the fall, but Ken Wayne, the Mountie in there. I'm the Mountie, going off on him a little bit, using the the original Canadian Mountie tactics, leaping back elbow. Of course, the Mountie Jacques Rougeau of the Rougeau brother fame. When his brother Raymond retired in 1990, he needed to reinvent himself. They took him off TV for, I don't know, several months, brought him back as a singles guy. He's here through the beginning of 93, I'm pretty sure, and had about a year and a half, 2-year run with the Mountie character. Pile driver, which is not the finish. Jimmy Hart on the outside there, and again, they tease the cattle prod. He doesn't use it because he says he's been threatened with suspension. Razor Ramon challenges the Macho Man in about a 30-second promo. Says he doesn't have any machismo, doesn't have anything going for himself, and he says he's going to finish him once and for all. Barry Hardy against Virgil Barry Horowitz against Virgil. Poor Barry. Barry has, been a journeyman wrestler for several years. Wrestling Virgil, never a good sign. Hard shots by Virgil here. Kind of does the Muhammad Ali, Haggard, and, that type of, basically an African-American boxing level athlete who has some wrestling skill. Amazingly, they do some minor chain wrestling. Barry Horowitz, super talented and underrated. Was so excited in 95 or so when he does get a little mini push with beating Skip Chris Candido of the Body Donnas. I don't know that we'll get to cover that because much of that's unavailable online anywhere. But anyway, drop kick by Virgil. And he again launches himself over the top rope to the floor, comes back in, armbar. And again, they give Horowitz a competitive match here. Barry Horowitz, I think, is a guy who's very underrated. He was one of the enhancement talents almost exclusively, well, not exclusively, but predominantly used by the WWF from the mid-80s, 87, 88, to probably about 95. Horowitz had a very stabilized career. Actually, I know High Spots Network has his shoot interview. I've been meaning to watch that for a while. Maybe I'll add that to the things that I do over the next little bit here. Money Incorporated against Burt Styles and Warren Quinn. Money Incorporated kind of, I wouldn't say purposeless, but they do win the tag team championships back within a couple of weeks here. But at this point, kind of wandering around a little aimlessly. And so this enhancement match intended to keep them on their toes, to keep them in the forefront of people's minds. Irish whip by IRS and hits the back elbow. IRS, I'll give him credit, wrestling in the suit and tie that he wrestled in had to be difficult. Those shoes, patent leather shoes, seem a bit slippery. Wouldn't want to be in those. And then, Ted DiBiase still has about a little less than a year left as an active competitor. So, big back body drop by DiBiase and kind of, good tag team wrestling, even in a squash match mentality by the Money Incorporated, use of the abdominal stretch, and they double team and cheat with that. DiBiase with a clothesline, and IRS comes back in, hits the flying, leaping clothesline of his own, followed by the $1 Million Dream. DiBiase wins for Money Incorporated, and that will close us for this particular program. My goal is to have most of 1992 finished within the next 24 hours, so stay with us for that, and we'll be back with more right after this.